Buzz, I know you're limited in what you can talk about as far as the scrimmage from last Saturday, but in what you can tell us, did it go well? Was it productive for you?
I thought it was productive on a lot of different fronts. We mimicked a road game routine, so we spent the night at a hotel here in town, and so that Friday night was good. Saturday morning, in preparation for the scrimmage, we mimicked what we'll do before a game, home or away. That was productive, and I thought relative to what we did, our guys and the intent of what we were trying to do was right, and I was encouraged by that. I was encouraged on a lot of different levels by a lot of different guys, but I'm a full believer in the scrimmage, and going to try to see if we can do maybe 2 in the future, just because I think there's so many layers that are helpful, because it's maybe the only thing the NCAA doesn't restrict or legislate is the time that you can work that day, and so it was really good. It was a long day, but it was good.
As far as the way things have been going in practice now, obviously you're a couple days removed ahead of your only exhibition game. Do you like where you're at right now, overall?
Yeah, I think that we probably started fast, and then we kind of leveled out, and I think we're back on the rise over the last 2 days. There's some things that we've yet to put in that as coach is probably my fault, but it's because I'm hell-bent on making sure that what we do have in, they can execute. And I don't want to go so fast that we're just okay in everything. I want to try to continue to rep it until we understand completely all the options, all the things that we can do. I think our guys are figuring out how hard they have to play. They don't quite understand the value of a possession yet. The new guys don't, but they're getting closer. And I think every day I'm just trying to teach one new thing a day, whether that be on offense or defense, and then add something to that the next day. So they're doing okay. I think we probably need to play another game, but I think our progress has been good the last 48 hours.
There's always guys that develop championship habits in practice, and I know you want to see that on a regular basis, but at the same time, there's some guys you're going to be interested in watching this exhibition that are lights, come on guys, maybe in the back of your mind, you think?
Yeah, I mean, 7 of those guys have never put on a uniform and played. And so it'll be beneficial just for them to put on a uniform, potentially have their name called to sub in the game. And so, I think that we'll get a feel for, can they take what we do in Caston and do it in the Bradley Center? Can they do it better? Are they worse? Are they the same? But in the same manner that I think we learned from our scrimmage, I anticipate we'll learn from Saturday's exhibition.
Given that it is the only exhibition, is there added importance to this one?
Well, I think that's the balance, CJ, is there's so many good things from a scrimmage, but yet it's not at the Bradley Center. It's not in a public forum. You don't wear uniforms. So there are some positive things that come from it. Maybe the negative that comes from it is it's only 40 minutes, and that's the difference in the scrimmage. But I think we've probably had the right balance up until this point, 1-1, and I would say it's probably the right thing for this team. We haven't even practiced at the Bradley Center, so Saturday morning will be the first time we've been in there.
Of the newcomers, has anyone really wowed you with their athletic ability so far in practice?
I like all of them. I like all of them most of the time, and I don't like some of them a lot too. It's just part of it. They're overwhelmed like anybody else would be in a new profession, in a new place, in a new environment, with a new standard, with a new expectation level. But all of them are really good people, and all of them are trying to do what's right. It's just that they've never been in this position where they're expected to do right every possession. And so there's a little bit of ebb and flow of, well, that new guy looks really good and that new guy looks really bad. And then potentially 5 minutes later, that guy that looked bad looks good and the guy that looked good looks bad.
Is it more than installing X's and O's? Is it teaching them what the culture is going to be
at
this point?
Yeah, that's all it is. I would say we're behind X's and O's, probably behind about 4 days. But I would say we're probably ahead 6 to 8 days relative to the culture. I think that's a good question. It's a lot more about the culture than it is the X and O.
How How much do you think people can read into the starting lineup on Saturday, and do you expect it to be kind of the musical chairs that you did a little bit last year early on to see what you have and who can do what?
Yeah, I think it'll be musical chairs until we can figure out who everybody is and who everybody is, not just on game day, but every day. And I think that the returning guys probably have an advantage because they understand that's what it is. I understand the wanting to know and kind of the scoop that comes from who starts. I'm more concerned, can we figure out who's going to finish than I am who's going to start. And it could end up being the same crew, but it could also not be the same guys. And I hope that we have options. You know what I mean? That's what I would like as a coach is, well, should we start him? Should he be the first sub, the last sub? Should he not play? That's what we got to figure out.
In that same vein, you have far more depth this year than you've had in your previous 2 years. In a perfect world, I mean, can you answer this question? How deep would your rotation go? Would you prefer to go 9 guys deep? Is it 8 that you're more comfortable with, or does that work itself out during the year?
Normally it works itself out. I hope that we prove that we have more depth. On paper, you would assume that depth would come from new guys. You know what I mean? So those new guys have yet to play under the lights. We'll see. But I think that I guess in a philosophical answer, I'd like to play 9.5 guys, with that half being a specialist. You know, your teams would play zone because they'd be soft.
Absolutely.
And so I'd like to have that half guy that could come in and just catch it and shoot
They
it.
can all shoot, yeah.
Which is why you would coach that way, because that's how you play.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much does it help that for the first time since you've been in charge here, everyone's healthy and you can judge equally?
Yeah, I think that's probably been the best part of it, Brad, is just having everybody there every day. We've had some academic stuff that is always a priority that sometimes shifts around practice and the timing of it, but at least every day they're all there physically. Well, they haven't always been there every day mentally or emotionally, but they're figuring that out. It's been really good. And it's not just good for me as a coach, it's good for them, one another. Jamil Wilson had his wisdom teeth pulled yesterday, all 4 of them, so he's not going to be with us for 4 or 5 days. But that works out okay. He can't play Saturday anyway. So, but other than that, they've all been healthy, which has been good.
Still trying to figure out who you can cuss out, who you got to coddle, who is the team figuring that out?
Yeah, they figured it out. I cuss out all of them and I coddle none of them. I love all of them. And again, that's kind of part of the process in the earlier question. They're just overwhelmed by all of it. Not in a bad way. It's just all the time, every day, going as hard as you can to be the best that you can. Just that in and of itself. Don't run a play. Just do that. That takes some time. And a lot of them take 2 steps forward, half a step back. But they're getting it. They're getting it figured out. I love what they're about. It's been a lot of fun to be around them. And I've spent, like I do all our guys, I spend a lot of time around them off the court so that I can holler and scream and act silly on the court. But, man, they're good people. And how many games, we won't win any games because we're good people, but I think it trends towards we'll win games because of our character.
There's the excitement of the Bradley Center, the excitement of game day, but what about the excitement of going against somebody else, not just people, you guys banging on your own guys?
Yeah, they get it. That's why they were so excited on Saturday. We had we watched film and did scout till about 11 on Friday night, and wake up was at 6, chapel was at 6:15, breakfast was at 6:30, and tape was at 7 on Saturday. And they were primed up and ready to go, partly because we wake up that time every day, but also because they got to all sit on the bench together, and they got to play against somebody else. That is fun. That is exciting, and there will be some anxiousness tomorrow or Saturday, but they'll be excited to play.
Would you have liked to have gotten a practice or something at the Bradley Center, or did it just
Yeah, it just kind of, it's I don't know, it's a luck of the draw, but it's Marquette's schedule, it's the Bucks schedule, the Admiral schedule, Sesame Street Live will be there, and I don't want to holler and scream because I'm going to be at Sesame Street Live, so it's just kind of part of it. They allow us in when they can allow us in every single time. It's just yeah, it just kind of works out that way. And you know, it's kind of a chore for us relative to our academic schedule, relative to when we can practice that particular day, relative to when the Bradley Center is available that day. And, you know, at times, if you can't practice till 4:30, well, a lot of our guys have tutors at 6:30, so it just depends. But they don't have any tutors Saturday morning at 6:30 when we go, so they'll be all right.
Jimmy okay? Is he back to full go and everything now?
Jamil Wilson?
Jimmy.
Yeah, he's fine. Like I told you, he could have been back earlier, but he's been fine. He was probably winded more than you would hope that he would be in a scrimmage, but there was no way around it because we had held him out so long. But he's fine. He's doing good.
That it?